So it's 2026 now, and the Mustang Mach-E is not a new car anymore, but I'm still seeing questions about how does the car handle in the snow, and how's the battery life in the cold. So I figured I would show you. So I'm gonna take it's probably gonna be 250 kilometer round trip today. It's about minus 20 degrees Celsius today, or this morning, and let's see if it gets colder or a bit warmer during the day. And I'll show you the realities of owning an electric car, and specifically a Ford Mustang Mach-E in Finland in wintertime. I had the car warm up for about an hour, so it has conditioned the let's take the high heat off and turn it on to auto. So it has conditioned the battery, and has also warmed up the cabin before, and it has done it while it was on the charger, so that should be the optimal situation. And as you can see right now, it says 342 kilometers until empty, and we are at 100% battery level. About the car, it's a 2022 Mustang Mach-E with all-wheel drive and standard range battery, so this is not the extended range version. So like I said, this is a 2022 Mach-E standard range all-wheel drive model, so this is pretty much the worst case scenario for mileage. And I have almost 55,000 kilometers on this car. The route that we're going to be driving today is going to be mostly highway. There are a few 60 kilometer per hour limits, but mostly it's going to be highway, which in Finland means that I can drive either 100 kilometers per hour or 80 kilometers per hour. So it's not super fast, even when we are on highway. Now we got to the highway. It's 100 kilometers per hour speed limit here. I will be driving 100, 102, something like that. One thing that I really would like to have on this car is like a battery conditioner button that I could just press a button and it would start conditioning the battery, because right now I mean I don't need the navigation here for anything. I know exactly where I need to go. I know exactly where the chargers are. I know exactly how long it's going to take me to get to the charger. So having to do the battery preconditioning via the navigation system, it's a pretty painful extra step that I need to take. So I forgot to reset the trip meter when we started, but I'm gonna do it right now. We have only come like, I don't know, 5-10 kilometers, so it's gonna be reasonably accurate still. So I'm just gonna reset this one to 0 so we can get some readings from the computer once we're done. The battery is right now on 99%, and the estimation of the range has dropped now to 299 kilometers. Another thing that I have had problems during the winter times is the fogging of the windows. They get misty easily when the AC or the AC system is turned out onto auto mode. Why does it do that? I'm not exactly sure, but I suspect that when the AC is on auto mode, it is probably turning on the recirculation of the indoor air to conserve energy. So I think it's like every 5 minutes it turns it into recirculation. Then a few minutes later it turns it back for fresh air, and again for recirculation, and a couple of minutes later back for fresh air. I think that's how it fogs up during the air recirculation period, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But that would make sense in terms of energy conservation. Yeah, if anybody has any facts on that, let me know. So in the span of about 35 kilometers, the estimate of the range is down to 263 kilometers. We are at 93% battery. It is minus 20 now, according to the car. We are also starting to see this fog up on the windows, like I was just saying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the these modes, and I will set the blower up to, let's say, 5, and this should clear up the fog. At least it usually does. Yeah, it's already going away, so it definitely works. Here we go. We're passing the trailer, and we have 100 kilometers per hour here, so we can finally go a bit faster. We have so far done 27 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and 24% of that has been consumed by the AC, or actually the warming of the car. 65% on the driving, and 2% on the accessories. I don't know exactly what that means, stereo, whatever. As you can see, the sun just came up from the horizon. It is absolutely gorgeous right now. The weather could not be nicer. Although it's minus 26 now, so it's just getting colder. Minus 26. We are now at 28 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. The odometer is we are about 65 kilometers into the trip. I am going to need to stop soon. I've had so much coffee that I need to relieve myself. All right, so I had to stop for a quick bathroom break. We have been driving for about 90 kilometers maybe. It says 80 here, but I forgot to restart or reset the odometer, so you can add about 10 kilometers there. Trip estimation is 127 kilometers range, and our battery is at 62%. So we have 31 kilometers left, and the car says that the range is 118 kilometers, 118 at 59% battery. So the computer says that we are now at 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is probably the worst that I have ever seen with this car. And if we think about the battery, it's let's say 73 kilowatt hours. So if we divide 73 kilowatt hours by 30 kilowatt hours, we should be getting something like 230, 240 kilometers with the battery. When you are in a colder climate, like between minus 20 and minus 30 Celsius. I would say 250 is the absolute maximum you can expect from this car spec like this. Smaller battery, all-wheel drive. The car does not have a heat pump, so I think the 25 facelift has a heat pump, but this one doesn't have it, so I don't know how much that would affect the range. So we are coming into Tornio. Yeah, the annoying thing about the battery preconditioning, it requires to be turned on by the navigator. The problem is that the charger that I want to use is not on the navigator. So I am unable to basically set the navigator to the charger. I can set the exact address of the charger into the navigator, but because it is not recognized as a charger, I don't think the car is actually preconditioning the battery. And that's super annoying. So we have used 57% of the battery to get from Oulu to Tornio. But yeah, the charging speeds are going to be interesting now. I don't know how warm the battery is. I mean, I have been driving, so I'm assuming it's reasonably warm, but I'm not expecting charging speeds above 100 kilowatt hours for sure. I think 80 is probably going to be the maximum that we're going to see on a charger. Alright, so I am approaching the charger right now. I hope we have some free chargers there. Doesn't look good. I would like to charge here because there's a convenient lunch place here. Could go for lunch. There's another all-wheel drive Mach-E there. Charging. Let's see if we can fit here.
Audi on menossa.
Audi on lähes?
Yes.
No niin, hyvä. Kiitos.
Onko muuten musta toiminut? Meillä
Ei oo ollut. Katoin just, että teillä on samanlainen.
Meillä on 21 meillä.
Tää on 22.
No.
Onko sulla isommalla vai pienemmällä akulla?
Isolla.
Tää on pienemmällä. Oikeastaan ainoa vika on ollut niin käsijarrun johtosarja piti vaihtaa.
Joo, meillä oli sama.
Joo, se rupesi herjailemaan. Joo, niin meni.
Joo, meillä jäi.
Rupesi herjailemaan kaiken näköisiä pimputuksia tuli ja muuten siitä ei ollut mitään haittaa, se toimi ihan täysin.
Joo, meillä se jäi autotalliin. Se laittoi lukkoon jarru.
Ahaa.
Niin meidän joutuisi vetämään sitä palanmatkaa.
Niin justi. Joo, tässä ei ollut mitään, se ei toiminnallisuuteen vaikuttanut, se oli vaan ärsyttävää, kun se pimputteli kaikkea.
Joo.
Muuten ei oo ollut mitään.
Kyllä.
Onko sulla ollut?
Ei oo mitään.
Joo.
Ei oo mitään tullut.
Sitä mä oon ottanut, koska tuo 12 voltin akkulla saattaa. Se on kuulemma semmoinen.
Niin mäkin toivon, että nyt me ollaan menossa leville, niin joo. Mä toivon, että ei se nyt siellä sitten. Joo, ei mitään.
Yes, ei muuta kuin hyvää matkaa.
Kyllä, sama.
Alright, so we are on lunch and car is charging. And the charging power is right now at 40 kilowatt hours. So that's about what I would expect at these temperatures and the car being pretty cold with the battery. So let's see, I will probably, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get to 80%, but that's when we're going to start heading back to Oulu. All right, so I ended up charging way longer than I was expecting to because I ran into an old friend who I hadn't seen in quite some time, and we had a lot of things to talk. So let's see, we are way above 95%, I think, on the charge here. Let's see what the app says. The app says we are at 98% battery. We charged for 1 hour and 22 minutes and took in 45.4 kilowatt hours. So yeah, at the end it was pushing in something like 20 kilowatt hours. So it was quite slow, but didn't intend to charge this long. Let's see what our stats are so far. We have been driving for 120 kilometers, actually 130 or so, about 2 hours. Power consumption, 31 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So far, that's really, really high. The temperature right now is minus 22. So let's head towards Oulu. We have about 120 kilometers to drive, and let's check the specs again over there. So the range estimate is right now 103 kilometers. We are at 52% battery. I think 200 kilometers is the realistic range for the car in this temperature. So yeah, it's I think it's pretty realistic. All right, so that's it. We are really close to home, and let's have a look at the final figures once I pull to my driveway. Okay, the trip is done. So the return trip was 122.9 kilometers. So the entire trip there and back was pretty much 250 kilometers. It says 243 here. That's just because I missed the I didn't remember to reset the odometer before, like I had driven 7 or so kilometers. Overall time 3 hours and 30 minutes probably, and the energy consumption was 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. Car says that the range estimate is still 79 kilometers, and we are at 41% battery, and the temperature has come up to minus 18 degrees. It's the warmest it has been on this trip. So that's it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know and I'll try to answer you. And if you have any tips or tricks that I didn't remember to tell, or maybe I have missed, then feel free to share. Thank you.